So you want to trade the Fed news. We're going to be trading the NASDAQ again. This will be our second video, and let's just break right into the day, because I think whenever we look at the Fed on a lot of platforms, you can't trade it because it's such a violent reaction. You know, things happen so fast that you don't get a chance to really, it's like a news event. You know, there may be, 50, 100 point, just massive swings happening in seconds. And so how would we want, to trade something like this? And is it something that we would look at, what are we looking for? Whether it's good news or bad news, so forth. So I like to look at, if you've seen my previous videos, we look at back data, but today I think we just want to go with the Fed. So if we wanted to, we can pull up a daily chart and we can see if there's anything crazy, on the previous day. We had a tremendous down, we had a base, a low, nothing too crazy. Pretty much we're ranging within here, and kind of that level in there on that particular day. If you go into the 4 hour, not too much different. You're almost seeing like, kind of this even Steven, right? And then you have this pull up. Let's break it down to smaller time frames. The hour. And here's where it gets interesting. When you get into this area here, you can see what happened. Obviously the news wasn't positive. You had a complete collapse, a pullback, and then we're going to get into this area in here. But always look at your different time frames, and then look for patterns, traces, any major bars, elephant bars. That's what we live for. Let's continue. So I love the 15, and in the 15 I'm kind of looking for patterns and things to trade. But everyone was waiting for that 2 o'clock rock. Everyone was. Before 2, if we wanted to though, we have some nice baselines here we could take advantage of. So you have a couple touches there, a retouch here. So if you're just looking at basic information, you start playing this line here. You got 2 touches, draw the line. When it hits it again, how does it respect it? It goes up, it goes up, it goes up, it goes up. So if we establish this line as our long, we've got a couple decent moves we can make. Really, you could have made just enough power moves just going long off of these moves here. I mean, geez Louise, what are we looking at? 918. That's 952. 970. All the way back down again. All the way back up again. This range of just going long off this line is really all you needed for the whole day of trading. But let's get into the fun, shall we? So we have a nice elephant bar up, and we kind of have almost a top basing period here. Where we're getting pull back, break it a little, pull back. We finally break it here at 130. So you're kind of feeling like a nice uptrend. Everyone wants it to go up. Everyone wants positive news. You get a little bit of drama, and then bam. So let's go to a smaller time frame. So we can see that 2 o'clock, even on a 5-minute bar, it's straight down. Let's go to a smaller time frame. Let's go to the 1, just so you can get an idea of why most people don't let you trade these events. So here's 2 o'clock. You're literally 12. You're 55 basically. 120, 55. Just absolute wicked. To 11,900. And then you get this pullback, right? So this is all within a minute. This bar is a minute. And then it teases you with a slide up trend, slams you right back down to there again, right? So you're feeling comfy here. You might think, okay, maybe that's a double bottom. Now I can take my long. But you'd be wrong. You get a little tease, and then you would just get crushed again. Then you hit this area here. Let's say you have 11,842. You start pulling up, you're feeling good about yourself. Bam, you slam down again. So it's really tricky to play these moves, based on these Fed days. Sometimes what you're better off thinking about is kind of break this into its position. So we have a tremendous down move here, followed by another down move here, right? Almost get what we want, a reversal, a little bit of a tease, another move up, and we just power down all the way down actually. So let's take a look at a slightly bigger time frame here, or not, depending on this website. There we go. So let's see what we were basing off of. So we're kind of playing right off this double top, and then also pretty close to the gap, just falling all the way over. Let's mark it anyway. That was low of the day, just for kicks. But it's so hard to judge on these Fed days. I don't think you could really look back that far and call it and say, oh, it's going to stop here. Most people are looking for, previous lows. So as this thing's collapsing, you're thinking base, 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 base again. So that would make sense there to play off this base. Right off, you got the 200. You got a pretty decent, move here, but it crushes it, goes down to the next level here, and then of course you have an even lower level there, which it never hit. But so we have up, complete crash, going on the hour. This is where it gets interesting. I like to trade the 15, so when I'm looking at these things, I'll do the 15, then I'll look for my entries, based off of that. And it was crazy. I think on this day I already completed I was already out before the Fed. I already made my target for the day. But this is what you look for. You don't really want to do anything as this is happening. You want to let it happen. Let it exhaust itself. Let it exhaust itself. Let it exhaust itself. I know it's hard to do when it's happening live, because you want to get in it. You want to trade these fantastic moves. But what you're really kind of going for is you want a retrace. Just like with any power move, you're looking for a pullback, which we did get at 3, right? So we had the 2 almost an hour later. We go down, we go down, we go down. Finally, we start making You know, so the 15-minute level, bang, bang, does it pulls down here, lower, low, lower, low, right? So we're not really we're not moving up. We're just constantly moving down with teases in between. Now we start moving up, right? We're getting an uptrend here. So this baseline here, where the meat is, I would probably draw that out. If I had no other data and I was just looking at, you know, this area here, that right as it passes here, I'm starting to get hungry on this uptrend. So let's break it into a smaller time frame. So bang, collapse. Yeah, man, that is a mother. I mean, really, it's right at 3, isn't it? I hate trading Feddays. Whoops, I just moved my line. So 3 o'clock's here. And it's a little trickier to see on the 5. Because you're following it, you're getting hammered, goes all the way down, stops, goes up, does not break a new low, goes up again, comes back down, doesn't break the wick, but oof, painful if you didn't get in here. You know, if you got in on this bar here, you're done. You already got wiped out. So it's not really till these just quick sporadic movements, right? It's not really till 3 o'clock you kind of get that positive look. And it's tough to see on a 5 because it keeps teasing you along. You probably could, if you're smart enough to get in here and kind of play this area, if you're lucky, you could have rode it. The other position, which was interesting, you know, I love it how it always fills the smiles. We didn't get a full retrace here. We got a complete collapse, a pull up, another collapse, and then we kind of had a range, right? And then we start taking off, pull back, take off, collapse, and then we just kind of sputtered out throughout the rest of the day. So this is why it's such a motherfucker to play these things. And, you know, if we were to top it, you know, it kind of held the line there. And then obviously if we go to this base here, it broke it, but not too far off. Really, it's tough to play the Fed. It's so hard to play it. The best advice I can give you is, if you think it's bad news, you can go for a short. But I mean, if you didn't get in up here, you know, things happen so quick and whippy that you know, even when you break it into the smaller time frames, it's just total fucking chaos. You know, all the way down. You think you're good, you get destroyed. You think you're good, slammed again. On a 1 minute time frame, though, you have, I mean, you're just getting chewed. But you have a little clarity here. That's a semi-decent entry, but you're really not too sure because it's kind of dragging you along. And then to really call this bottom is a tough bottom to call. However, once you start seeing that, it's not where you at here. 70. It's still too much to eat. It's a tough play. Fed days suck, but if we go back to 15, which is kind of my fave, and break it down into a 15-minute chart, unless you're shorting the market, So you're playing off the bad news. Really, it's not till right about here, right in that area there, you're thinking, okay, that's reasonable. Because you're breaking down. Hold it, come back up, you're breaking all the way down. You're breaking down, you're going up here. Finally, you get a new high. So that little ray of hope, right about in this area here, you could have taken along. And then you see it whip back, and then, you know, of course, now we're right in 15-minute territory where, you know, you play these even Steven bars. And then, of course, you have a slight move up. But by 4 o'clock, you tend to get out. You know, unless you have a different, you know, a little bit more money in your account, you can stay and play. But for most of us, 4 o'clock's that's go time. So, but, I mean, that's your day. You know, you have a strong base, beautiful, you know, beautiful buying. You pull back, you base again, you buy again. It's kind of neat. You know, you're thinking strength, and you're like, oh, if we get positive news, you know, I think some of us might have thought, you know, we got a little stall there, but, you know, some of us were thinking, man, I bet we could pull back up. But in reality, we just collapsed, and we collapsed to that baseline right there. And then you're not really getting a buy signal until here, right? So I think wicks up, goes back down, and then like any power bar up, there's your short. You know, it's pretty basic. You could have shorted anywhere in there and just held it. So if you were lucky enough to play the Fed and you played the negative news, you crushed it. You had an all-time day. If you didn't get in and play the negative news and you're trying to play, you know, the retracement, 3 o'clock was your only hope. That made the most sense, and really you're kind of placing your buy here. You know, you want it to break a new high, and then, which isn't really a bad trade. Now you're what, 866, you know, to 973, so you're still crushing it. And then, you know, you wick up, you wick down to the meat, going short off of this with you know, a stop loss there, not too bad. You get a little flare up and a complete crash. So that's your play. Really, this area in here is your only play on the Fed that makes sense. If you called the low and you just got in here, God bless you, you nailed it. But looking at, you know, how the war is being fought, you know, kill, not really a new high. There's your new high. There's your long. Pull back. Nice elephant bar up. We could have got a secondary move up, but nah. You start seeing that red short it, because that's a beautiful trade. You know, it's such a big movement. You're talking 100 points, 100 plus. What? 813. We go to the wick. I mean, geez, come on. 12014. Yeah. Anytime you get these major moves, always look. I know a lot of people don't like going both directions. I always look to go both ways. And anytime you can give me a power move up, I'm looking for a power move down. In the NASDAQ, Forex is kind of a mean animal. It'll continue to play, but no, really. I mean, you know, you had the downward move, you had a little bit of a smile back to the base, so it did fill the smile a little, and then continued and crashed, and then just phased out. But if I was trading today, I would have my baseline long. I would just gone long off this. And really, I mean, just set your buys there. 11,921. 39. Or if you held it 54, get out of town. You went long here. I mean, you're just going long off this bar. Every time it touches it, you go long. And if you held this, I mean, you're done. You're done for the day. You're back down to, once again, 11,921. But, now you're 82. Get out of town. Oh, no. Keeps going. The 1200s. Oh, 1233. So, I mean, just bam, bam. That's, it's a tough hold. But anything like that, I mean, get out. Come on. Just monstrous. That's your bar to trade. Well, that's really all the advice I got for you. My previous one I broke down the other days, but trading the Fed is difficult. Continue to look for points, your resistance. And then once you have that strong move, let it play out. Don't get in. Stick to your guns, wait for you have a very strong chance that with this much sell-off happening so fast, you're going to get a pullback a lot of the times. And you're just waiting for like a confirmation. You're waiting for, show me something. Show me a new high. Show me a new high. Bam. Then you're jumping up. You're feeling good about this. Oh, slammed again. Slammed again. It's tough to trade. A lot of people won't trade it. But 3 o'clock, so really an hour later, you've got a beautiful opportunity for both ways. Then after that, I mean, if you're playing the meat and you just went long off the meat, so once it hit this direction, there's your long, short, long again, pull back, hits it again, long. I mean, you could have played that area as well, but tough. I mean, I guess if you wanted to keep it going after hours, you could have gone long there. But not a big fan of Feddays. But if you were to trade them, the best advice I can give you is, unless you feel really, really comfortable that you know which way it's going to go, just like anything, this is a war, and it's your job to figure out who's going to win. Is it going to be the green? Is it going to be the red? And the easiest way is to wait till you have data and draw your line and see how it moves, and then play off that move. And that's really the best way to do it.